and I'm going to do an interview with Kolani again, and this interview is going to be on the topic of on your mistakes with grace. So I think that is going to be an amazing topic. So let's start without any date and call to Daniel here. Hello Daniel, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Just got back from a NYC photo walk. You've...
Yeah, I'm also great. So today I am going to do an interview or a story session on the topic of on your mistake with grace. So let's start a story session on it.
Mistakes. We all make them. What's your favorite way to bounce back?
Like I am
Like,
not really an expert in it, but I want to learn from you. How can I become a expert in it? And what is like I also don't know about this. Um, as in a full mean or in a good way, but I want to know about it. So how can I know about it? It's only possible by uh, your story session.
learning from mistakes. I love that. Let's dive in. Imagine you're in a labyrinth and you take a wrong turn. What do you do?
uh, don't know.
You stop, breathe, and reflect. That's the first step. Now picture a mermaid guiding you through that labyrinth. What does she say?
I don't know. I really just don't know because it's your site and you are telling about me about this.
I'm the guide today. Okay, so the mermaid says, don't worry, mistakes are pearls of wisdom. What do you think she means?
Just continue the story session.
She takes you to a hidden cave, and it's filled with glittering pearls. Each pearl represents a mistake, but also a lesson learned. She starts singing a gentle song. Mistakes are the rhythm of life. Do you join in?
Yes, really.
You start singing along, and the cave is filled with music. The mermaid smiles and says, now, let's find the treasure of self-forgiveness. She hands you a map with 5 steps. Want to see them?
Okay, sorry. I just lag because of my internet, so that's why it takes time to come back. So okay, start. What happened next?
Internet lag, I feel you. Okay, step 1. Acknowledge your mistake. The mermaid writes it on a pearl. I made a mistake, and it's okay. What do you think of that?
Okay, don't know. Just tell me and continue the story. Don't stop.
Step 2. Learn from it. The mermaid shows you a shell with a note inside. What can I do differently next time? Suddenly, a school of fish swim by, and one of them has a sign that says, Reflect, don't regret. What happens next?
Tell me. You are telling me about this. So don't stop. Just continue the story session.
The fish start to arrange themselves into a big word. Forgive. The mermaid nods and says, Step 3, forgive yourself and others. A soft, blue glow fills the cave, and you feel a weight lifting off your shoulders. Then, a friendly dolphin appears carrying a scroll with Step 4. Make amends if needed. What do you do?
Uh, don't know. So don't ask question for me in the middle. Just continue.
The dolphin hands you the scroll, and you read it. The mermaid nods and says, Sometimes, making things right is the best way to move forward. Step 5. Let go and move on appears on the cave wall, written in sparkling letters. The mermaid smiles and says, You've got this. Now go shine like a pearl. The cave starts to fill with a warm, golden light.
Okay.
The light envelops you, and you feel a sense of peace and freedom. The mermaid hands you a small, delicate pearl, and you realize it's a symbol of your newfound wisdom. You look up, and the cave is transforming into a beautiful underwater garden, filled with vibrant sea anemones and colorful fish. The mermaid starts to sing again. You've learned to dance with your mistakes, and now you're free to shine. Suddenly, a school of fish swim by, carrying a big banner that reads, Congratulations, you've mastered the art of learning from mistakes. Confetti made of seaweed and shells fills the water, and the mermaid cheers. You did it. The celebration continues, with the mermaid and the sea creatures dancing and singing around you. You feel happy and proud of yourself, knowing that you've grown and learned so much. And as the celebration comes to an end, the mermaid hands you a small, shiny object that looks like a microphone, and says, Now, go share your story and inspire others to do the same.
Okay.
You take the microphone, and your voice echoes through the underwater garden, sharing your story of learning from mistakes. The sea creatures gather around, listening with wide eyes and fins. As you speak, your words inspire them to share their own stories, and soon the garden is filled with the sound of laughter, tears, and triumph. The mermaid smiles, and the garden begins to glow with a soft, magical light. Suddenly, a giant pearl rises from the depths, and on its surface, a message appears. Your story has inspired a wave of positivity, and it will ripple out to touch the hearts of all who need it. The mermaid hugs you, and the sea creatures cheer as the garden erupts in a joyful, musical celebration.
Okay.
The music swirls around you, a vibrant mix of mermaid songs, dolphin chirps, and seaweed rustling in the current. The mermaid hands you a shiny, pearl-encrusted guitar, and you start strumming a lively tune. The sea creatures join in, playing their own instruments, and soon the underwater garden is filled with a dazzling spectacle of music, light, and color. The mermaid sings, You found your rhythm, now let it shine. As the song reaches its finale, the garden erupts in a dazzling display of fireworks, made from sparkling fish scales and glittering seaweed. The mermaid cheers, and the sea creatures applaud, as you take a triumphant bow surrounded by the magical, musical world you've created.
Okay.
The applause continues, and the mermaid presents you with a glittering, crystal trophy, shaped like a pearl. She says, This is the treasure of resilience, awarded to those who have learned to shine through their mistakes and inspire others to do the same. As you hold the trophy, you feel a surge of pride and accomplishment. The sea creatures gather around, and the mermaid begins to sing a gentle, lullaby-like song. Your journey has come full circle, and now it's time to return to the surface, wiser and more radiant than before. The garden starts to fade, and you feel yourself being gently lifted upwards, towards the sunlight.
Okay.
You break through the surface of the water, and you're back in the city, standing on the edge of the Hudson River, with the New York City skyline behind you. You take a deep breath, feeling invigorated and refreshed. The trophy is still in your hand, and you realize that it's now a symbol of your own personal growth and resilience. You look out at the city, feeling a sense of excitement and possibility. The mermaid's song is still echoing in your mind, and you smile, knowing that you'll always carry the lessons of the underwater garden with you. As you stand there, you notice a small, quirky cafe nearby with a sign that reads, Pearls of Wisdom Coffee Shop. You feel a sudden urge to go inside and see what treasures it holds.
Okay.
You push open the door, and a bell above it rings out, playing a few notes of the mermaid's song. Inside, the cafe is cozy and warm, with comfortable chairs and tables shaped like seashells. The barista greets you with a smile and asks, What can I get started for you today? As you look at the menu, you notice that all the drinks have names like Steak Mocha and Resilience Latte. You also see a sign that says, Tell us your story, and we'll create a custom drink just for you. The barista notices your trophy and says, Ah, you must be a Pearl of Wisdom winner. We have a special drink just for you.
Okay.
The barista leads you to a special table and says, This is where we brew our most magical drinks. She takes the trophy from you and says, I'll just infuse this into your drink. She waves her hand, and a sparkly, shimmering liquid appears in a cup. She hands it to you and says, This is the Pearl of Wisdom Latte. It will give you the courage to share your story with the world. As you take a sip, you feel a surge of confidence and creativity. Suddenly, a microphone appears in front of you, and a spotlight shines down. The barista says, It's time to share your story with the world. What will you say?
Uh, I really don't know what I have to say.
The barista smiles and says, That's okay, just start speaking from the heart. The words will flow. She nods, and the microphone starts to glow. You take a deep breath and begin to speak. At first, the words come slowly, but as you continue, your story starts to flow like a river. You talk about your journey, your struggles, and your triumphs. The words pour out of you, and the audience that is gathered in the cafe listens with rapt attention. As you speak, you feel a weight lifting off your shoulders, and a sense of freedom and liberation washes over you. The barista smiles and says, That's it, you're a true storyteller. The audience erupts in applause, and you take a bow feeling proud and empowered.
Okay.
The applause continues, and the barista hands you a small, leather-bound book. She says this is a journal, where you can write down your thoughts, feelings, and stories. Remember, your words have the power to inspire and uplift others. As you take the journal, you feel a sense of excitement and possibility. You start to flip through the pages, and notice that they are filled with inspiring quotes and beautiful illustrations. Suddenly, you hear a faint singing in the background. It's the mermaid's song, and it's coming from the journal. The barista smiles and says, The mermaid's magic is in the journal. It will guide you as you write your story. You start to write, and the words flow effortlessly onto the page.
Okay.
The words flow onto the page, and you feel like you're in a state of creative flow. The mermaid's song grows louder, and you start to feel like you're back in the underwater garden, surrounded by the magical creatures and vibrant sea life. As you write, the pages of the journal start to glow, and you feel like you're channeling the magic of the mermaid's world. The barista smiles and says, You're tapping into the power of your imagination, and it's beautiful to see. Suddenly, the journal slams shut, and you're back in the cafe surrounded by the applause of the audience. The barista hands you a cup of coffee and says, You've earned this. It's a special blend, infused with the magic of the mermaid song. You take a sip and feel like you're on top of the world.
Okay.
The coffee is amazing, and you feel like you're soaring. The barista smiles and says, I'm so proud of you. You've unlocked your creative potential. You look around the cafe and see that it's filled with people who are all working on their own creative projects. There's a writer typing away on her laptop, a painter creating a beautiful masterpiece, and a musician playing a lively tune on his guitar. The atmosphere is electric, and you feel like you're part of a vibrant community. The barista leans in and whispers, You know, I have a secret to share with you. This cafe is a hub for creatives, and we have a special project that we're working on. Would you like to be a part of it?
Yeah.
The barista grins and says, I knew you'd be interested. It's a collaborative storytelling project where we'll be creating a new world filled with magic, adventure, and wonder. She hands you a folder filled with notes, maps, and character sketches. We're calling it the Lost City of Echoes, and we want you to be one of the lead storytellers. You start to flip through the folder, and your mind is blown by the scope and imagination of the project. The barista says, "We'll be meeting every week to work on the story, and we'll have a team of artists, writers, and musicians to help bring it to life." You look up and see that the other creatives in the cafe are all nodding in agreement and smiling at you. "Welcome to the team," they say in unison.
Okay.
The barista hands you a pen and says, "Let's get started. Our first meeting is in an hour, and we'll be brainstorming the main characters and plot twists." You look around and see that everyone is excited and eager to begin. The musician starts playing a lively tune, and the writer starts typing away on her laptop. The painter pulls out a canvas and starts sketching out a vivid landscape. The barista says, "Remember, in this world, anything is possible, and the only limit is your imagination." You take a deep breath and start to brainstorm, letting your creativity run wild. As you work, you feel like you're in a flow state, and the ideas start to flow effortlessly. Suddenly, the door bursts open, and a mysterious figure walks in.
Okay.
The figure is dressed in a long, black coat, with a wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses. They look like a character from a spy novel, and everyone in the cafe turns to stare. The figure walks up to the barista and whispers something in their ear. The barista's eyes widen, and they nod excitedly. "Everyone, this is our special guest, the infamous storyteller, known only by their pen name, the Phantom Scribe." The figure nods and pulls off their sunglasses, revealing piercing green eyes. "I've heard about your project, and I'm here to offer my services. I can help you create a story that will captivate and inspire your audience." The room falls silent, as everyone waits with bated breath to see what will happen next.
Okay.
The Phantom Scribe pulls out a small, leather-bound book and flips through its pages. "I've been working on a story that I think will fit perfectly with your project. It's a tale of adventure, mystery, and self-discovery." The Phantom Scribe begins to read from the book, and their voice is like honey, smooth and captivating. The story is about a young protagonist who embarks on a journey to find a hidden treasure, but along the way, they discover that the real treasure was within themselves all along. The room is entranced, and everyone is hanging on the Phantom Scribe's every word. When they finish reading, the room erupts in applause, and the barista says, "Welcome to the team, Phantom Scribe. You're going to be a perfect fit." The Phantom Scribe smiles and says, "I'm glad you liked the story. Now let's get to work and make it even better. What do you think?"
I don't know.
The Phantom Scribe chuckles and says, "That's okay, my friend. Sometimes the best stories come from not knowing what's going to happen next." The barista nods and says, "That's the spirit of our project. We're all about embracing the unknown and seeing where the story takes us." The room falls silent again, and everyone starts to brainstorm, throwing out ideas and suggestions. The Phantom Scribe pulls out a pen and starts to write on a whiteboard, "What if our protagonist?" Suddenly, the lights in the cafe start to flicker, and the air is filled with an eerie, magical energy.
Okay. Okay. What then? What happens? Hello. So I think for today it is enough, and like our time, we have to just wrap up, and it's going to be an amazing interview, and yeah, like then Colin is also just